Sir. Yo, yo, yo. What's good, fellas?
Yes, sir. What's going on?
Good to
How you
see y'all,
doing?
man.
Yes.
We back. Welcome to another episode of Sparring Minds crew. They've been dying to get me out of last for the longest, so that's why they want me to do it. But it's all good. I kicked it off. It's the chef, main topic.
Hightower here, aka Hightower.
I would be an asshole and just hold off and not say anything.
Not gonna happen.
But this Sam Little, Mr. Maritime.
And finally, Chuck has come back to his rightful spot. Charlie Hustle, the Dawn, a.k.a. Charles Jones, a.k.a. Hot Tub Tony, a.k.a. Mr. Monday Night, a.k.a.
Here we go.
Let's get it, man.
See, because of all this extra shit, that's why I was really hesitating on whether or not I should say it or not. Say my name or not.
Yo,
really hesitating.
This is my spot. This is prime time.
I'm sitting here watching this like, okay, watch these two right here, yo. Who is going to hold out longer for this to go last? I'm just
not a chance.
In my head, like,
I definitely was. I was sitting there like, damn, I should be an asshole right now.
No chance. We would have had 11 minutes of silence on this motherfucking show, dog. That was the budget, you heard me? Let's get it, man. Let's get a good show.
Yeah. So, let's get into it, man, right away. We had some breaking news kind of come across in our pre-show, something real big. So it seems that Mr. Biden has chosen Kamala Harris to be his VP coming up for this election. So, I mean, that's definitely a big deal. And it's smart on his behalf to try to, even though he's not really, the choice. I mean, it's no good choice. It's kind of like a lesser of two evils in this situation. But Kamala Harris, that might get the people going as far as helping them out. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I want to swing it around the room, get you guys' opinion on it. So we're going to start where I see it at. Little, what's popping?
We're in trouble. We're in trouble.
Right out the gate?
Like that? Jeez.
Just like that. I don't think any pick he could have made would have been a great one, but we're in trouble. That's all I really can say. I mean, I had some friends that said, you know what? I'm not voting for any president candidate. I'm only voting for the local.
Well, and that should tell you the grade of friends you have. Because we've all spoken about how monumental this presidential race is going to be. We don't pride ourselves here at Sparring Minds on talking too much about politics, so I'll keep this super short. But first and foremost, regardless of how you feel about Kamala Harris and her political stances, you got to salute an African American woman, an Asian American woman, who's the first to ever chase his VP seat. So we're going to salute that here on Sparring Minds. That's an absolutely legendary accomplishment on that. I mean, listen, man. I think this can be something even bigger. And you hear people talk about Joe Biden again. Regardless of your feelings of him, he's 78. Well, he will be 78 by the time we choose the next president. Correct? And so he's even himself said that he's what's called a transition candidate. Now, a transition candidate, for those who are not necessarily aware for, is just someone who's developing the next person, right? You very rarely hear about this. I think you heard about it, the guy before Kennedy. I think he was a transition candidate. But not for nothing. This we're talking about here is at 78, he may not be long in the office, and you could very easily see Kamala Harris become president of the United States. Which
now that would be crazy.
I mean, that's how
the
this
first
goes.
female president.
Yo,
you know
nuts.
what I mean? So, these are things that we have to celebrate just because the way our people have been able to incrementally affect change in this country. I think is something we have to note. If you have feelings about Kamala that are derogatory, I hope that you're going to keep her accomplishments and the fact that she's a minority, keep that as a high
Indeed.
thought process as you go through it.
Hightower, aka Hightower.
This is monumental for a few reasons. You know, like Chuck said, you know, she's the first. One of y'all said it. She's the first African American, first female in this position. You know, and anybody with a brain knows that this doesn't happen if Barack's not the last president. You see what I mean? So slowly but surely, some of these barriers and these walls are getting torn down.
Yeah.
And it's only a matter of time before we see somebody in the office that, you know, a female representing, you know, the highest seat in the nation. It may not be Kamala, but because she's where she is potentially now, can make a world of change for the next, you know, for the rest of, you know, the future, I guess.
Yeah.
We may not see it ourselves, but you know, our kids will see it now. We, you know, me and Maine got daughters, so this gives them something to aspire to now. You know what I mean? It's a big deal for me.
It's just, you know what, real quick before you go, man, just it's so interesting that like our country and our presidential situations where VPs, much like Biden, are generally in our country going to run for president at some point in time. So even if she doesn't get the seat by Joe passing away early, she still could be a future political president candidate down the line.
Oh yeah.
So,
true.
It's just super incredible. It's just super. It's really helping to paint the picture of what our future could be in this country. You know, getting away from, well, we're never going to get away from the racial turmoil, the racial unrest, but hopefully you get somebody in that seat who puts that as a priority. I mean, listen, she was a former attorney general. You dig? Like, she's got a reason to be there.
Yeah,
So,
she got credentials.
I'm gonna salute that.
Salute. Right.
Yeah.
They definitely salute that and salute Joe.
Yeah.
You know, being smart enough to, you know, put that together.
We seen the lighter side of Chuck on her right now.
Oh, yeah,
Usually
normally I would torture, but
Right. Yeah, that's
Yes.
dope. That's dope. Good,
This is
good
great.
point out. Good point out, Little. Good point out on that.
Yes. This is monumental all in itself.
That shows growth, man. That shows growth.
See,
Yes, it
Mama, I'm
does.
trying to grow. I'm maturing. You see.
Absolutely.
But and also one more thing I want to point out about this and Biden, regardless of how you feel about him, I think one of the things he's also said is he's looking to appoint a black woman to the Supreme Court, which again couldn't be more incredible. You know what I mean? So now you got a black woman running as a VP. You got to put a black woman on the Supreme Court. So as long as it's not involving her relationship life, no drama should be here. You know what I mean? She should be able to handle business. Let's just make sure she's happily married. Let's just make sure there's no problems there because you know now they start arguing. Now we going to, but it ain't gonna happen. We're gonna trust it. We're gonna salute. We got you.
Going for that black vote, boy. Going for that black vote.
Yeah, definitely. All right, cool. Yo, so next up we got sports on the menu. You dig? And it's some big news going on with college football that we was kind of talking about in the preview. So Chuck, you want to kickstart us on what's going on with college football?
Yeah, I don't mind, man. I think today what we saw was a major announcement from the Big Ten that they're actually going to cancel their fall sports, including obviously the big generator of funds in football. We saw that the Pac-12, with 50% of their teams out on the West Coast, has also followed suit and canceled their fall sports. All of this, of course, is due to the COVID-19 pandemic that we're currently in. Millions of dollars are lost in these decisions. But it's like I've been saying about baseball. It's about what I've been saying for every other sport that we've been talking about here for the last 44 episodes. It's the right thing to do. Cancel these seasons unless you have a specific bubble plan in place, a safety player player safety should be the top priority here, and
True.
college football seems making that decision.
True. I just feel bad for the seniors that, we're looking forward to this season, but, hoping for the best for them.
Isn't it like a clause for them to keep their eligibility? It has to be.
I thought I saw that. I thought I saw that.
Really?
And,
Okay.
and I'm okay with
Yeah.
that. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with, a kid who's getting more mature. He's going to be another year older, another year wiser, getting ready to go into adulthood in terms of either graduating and pursuing his career or going to play the NFL, whatever the case may be. But you're a year older, a year wiser. Hopefully, make some better decisions than you would have.
Didn't we have a little argument earlier? About older players playing in leagues.
We're not doing that today, bro.
We can do that.
We're not doing that today.
Man, could you tell him?
That was a great segue. And in my head, I'm saying like, we can.
Man, could you let the people know what we were talking about?
We're not doing that today, brother.
So, so in pre-show, we were having a conversation regarding NBA players and guys coming out of college, coming in too early, and guys are Chuck, they should stay 4 years, and everything should work out in 4 years, and they shouldn't be freshmen. And the thing he forgets is that when he looks at like some of the best players in the NBA today, most of them was either out of high school or no more than a year or two. If you just look at your top three, I'm saying Kawhi, depending on how you look at it, Steph Curry,
LeBron.
Everybody are healthy. Kawhi, instead they stayed 3 years, I believe. But you know what I mean? Some of the better players, the LeBrons and all that, came out pretty early. Freshmen in high school. You know what I'm saying? Like, so,
Let me. We wasn't supposed to do this, Sparring Minds. I promise you, we wasn't supposed to do this. Right? So let me give you a couple different things. The first is that what we're talking about is the NBA in terms of these kids coming out of college, being drafted by NBA teams, and then now we're gauging or measuring their level of production for this team. Let me talk to you a little bit about the NBA draft. The NBA draft is where the worst teams in the league go and select the best college players in the country in an effort to improve their team. That's the point of the NBA draft, right? And when myself and Sammy and Maine and Hightower were coming up in high school, we saw the best players in the country stay 3-4 years, right? And they were so good and they were so dominant that it was no question who the best 15, 20 players in the country.
I'm gonna stop you right there.
No, don't stop me, motherfucker. You got me on this box. We about to go all the way in. So,
but that's not totally true. But that's not totally true for him.
How is that not totally true?
There's some
that's
cap
not totally
in
true.
there. As the young people say, there's some cap in there.
Yeah, there is. I mean, when Webber came out, how many years did he play in college?
He was a freshman, I believe.
He was a sophomore.
Webber did not come out as a freshman.
He came out as a sophomore.
I'm sorry, sophomore. Yeah. I'm sorry, sophomore.
Duncan came out as a senior.
Correct.
Webber came out as a sophomore. Kobe came out in high school.
Correct.
McGrady came out in high school.
Correct.
KG came out of high school.
KG high school.
Stephon came out after what? 1 or 2 years? 1 year?
I think freshman.
After his freshman year.
2 out of Tech.
2? Okay. Iverson.
Can I finish now?
Iverson, 2.
I don't know if you got an argument now, bro.
You don't have an argument.
The argument is this, right? As a general manager, who's the individual who drafts these kids out of college, your job is to get the best talent and the talent who's going to immediately help your franchise. Because your job is not guaranteed after this season if your team sucks again. That's how this works, right? So the GM is trying to build up that team as quickly as possible. So today's NBA, we have general managers going into this draft pool and drafting underdeveloped, unproven 18-year-old kids, right? And these are the only choices, right? And so everybody there, it's in their selection pool is unproven, and they're putting them based on potential. Everybody.
Wait a minute.
Let me finish, please. So that's what the entire draft pool is now. When you heard these guys talk about other players that were coming up in the 90s, even if you go into the 2000s with Vince Carter, Jameson, some of those guys.
You said around when we were in high school, which is like the 90s, right?
So I'm saying from the 90s into the 2000s, there were players who played, dominated 3-4 seasons. You knew what you were going to get. When they came to your team, when LSU when Shaq walked out of LSU and went to Orlando, they won 40 games the next year. You see what I'm saying? Like you knew you were getting a player. Alonzo Mourning came out that same year. Stayed 3-4 years. Came out, immediately changed the franchise. You knew what you were going to get. Now, also in that same draft, Christian Laettner came out. He was arguably one of the greatest college basketball players of all time. In the end, he didn't pan out, but here's the most important part about that.
Wait. No, he just went to a bad franchise. The most
important part about that is that Christian Laettner, again, followed my protocol of staying 3-4 years. It just so happened that he wasn't that good on a pro level. He didn't have the work ethic. He didn't have the athleticism that teams were looking for. And so that's why he didn't pan out. But most times, those guys who stayed and dominated college basketball, they pan out. So what these guys are talking about nowadays in terms of taking all these kids, let them stay in school. Let's see what they really are. Let's let them work their way through their own sieve. And now when I take them, they immediately help my franchise, and I'm not like Orlando. I'm not like motherfucking Minnesota, where I got all these lottery picks on my team, and we're still going back to the lottery the next year because we can't win more than 15 games.
So why aren't the Celtics struggling right now?
Hold on.
What Ant did at the beginning of this segment was point out some of the 5, 6, 7 highlights. Those times where you roll the dice and you win. Tracy McGrady, one of my favorite players of all time. Ask that coach in Toronto if he was ready to help out year 1 or 2. He'll tell you no. That's an absolute fact. Like that's how ask the coaches. Ask Del Harris in Los Angeles when they took Kobe year 1. They didn't play Kobe like 15 minutes in Los Angeles in year 1. So I'm just telling you that let these kids play in school, develop that skill set, then come help my franchise.
Chuck, they had an all-star ahead of Kobe in LA. Matter of fact, they had 2. If I'm not mistaken, they had Sabonis over there and they had Eddie Jones over there, and they moved. They moved one of those players. Actually, correct. If I'm not mistaken, they moved him to put Kobe in because they knew he was ready.
What I'm saying is this:
those coaches and those players in year 1 of Kobe. Now listen, you're talking to the only Lakers fan here, so I'm gonna tell you what it is, right? The coaches and the players on that team said Kobe wasn't ready year 1. Kobe Bryant himself said he was. Well, that's a different thing. But I'm just telling you,
Kobe Bryant was an all-star in 2 years.
Year 2,
98.
Okay.
I'm just saying, drafted 96.
And salute to every anomaly that goes against this argument. But if you want to bet safe, if you're a GM, you want to see some tape on a player. That's all I'm saying.
I'm going with Maine, and it's more about the organization than anything. The organization sucks. Because to go back into the Christian Laettner, he went to Minnesota and he was supposed to take over, and he didn't do that. He had no one around him. There was no one around him. He went to Atlanta. Some years later, he became an all-star. Now, if he would have went to he was an all-star in Atlanta. Now, if he would have started off on a more veteran team where there was some pieces around him, I think Christian Laettner would have been all right.
Let me speak to my listeners real quick. Let me help y'all out real quick. Let me help y'all with a real quick fact. There is not never, I'm going to repeat that. There is not never a time when Christian Laettner was a fucking all-star. And so that tells you.
Look it up. He was.
Go look it up.
Fuck out.
Go look it up.
Yes, he was. Never an all-star.
Yes, he was.
97.
Yes, he was.
97.
That's what year?
97.
I don't know what year it was. 97.
Yes, he was. First of all, I'm probably the biggest sports fan here. I can go into the card catalog and go look it up if I need it.
I don't know about the biggest.
Cut it out, Chuck.
He was all right till you said the biggest sports fan.
Cut it out.
Yeah.
Basketball
listen.
guy, okay.
You got to give Little his props. He knows his stuff, man.
He gets his props on that.
No, he still sucks.
Listen, just
Laettner's a bum.
97 with the Hawks.
Sports fan here. No,
it's not 97 with the Hawks.
Well, not fan, but
great
you know,
call.
when it comes
Great
down
call,
to,
Little.
oh,
Great call.
listen, I follow the game. I know the game. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, Chuck. It's all right. You know.
Here we go. The sun shines on a dog's ass every now and then.
You're right. It does. It's been shining on you and Chuck lately, though.
Jesus Christ.
Y'all been winning these fucking brackets, man. Kicking my ass.
Hold up. Before we move on. To combat Chuck's comment again, it's like you can't put all that on the players, man. You just can't. A lot of these players dominate freshman year in college, which is why they get touted so high in the lottery. You have these coaches who are old school coaches who don't adjust their schemes to include these younger players. You can't just have a younger player come into a old school traditional system. You gotta evolve and progress some of these opportunities to get these guys more involved.
So you think Duke has changed their system? That's what you think?
I mean, Duke is an anomaly. If you want to call those out,
Duke. How many great players came from Duke?
Yeah, they produce NBA quality players. They always have.
I mean, Duke has some pretty good players in the NBA right now.
Now they do, yeah. They had a couple, I mean, in the past, but not a lot of stars. Not like it should have been. I mean, all those great players,
some of those guys
supposedly.
They didn't pan out to be good pros.
It's not always a talent thing. You got guys who make it, and that's their apex. That's what they just wanted to make it.
Yeah,
right.
Some people don't have the drive to want to be the best NBA player on the team.
Yep.
See, their goal is the goal is to get drafted. They got drafted. They got the check.
Secure that money. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And as long as they show up in, they're healthy or whatever, then they can't be considered, a scrub. But it's like not everybody has that drive to go in there and be the best player. That's reserved for the elite.
I think one thing that you fellas, pardon me, I think one thing you skip over, and it's really the most important part of the argument to me, outside of the argument that I think a general manager should be able to have 3 or 4 years worth of film to make the right decision. Outside of that, and actually like on the court even to the side, the most important part of this issue is that why are we not telling our young black men to stay in school and learn, educate themselves, be able to get out of college, go pro, be able to manage your money, manage your finances, build your brand. These are all things they should be taking that time, free time in college, because they go into college for free. Take that, walk out of there with a degree, walk out of there with a knowledge of how to handle your money so that when you do make $100 million, now you don't blow it like Antoine Walker. Now you can invest wisely. Now you can do some of these things that some of those players that haven't been doing in the past. So it's a larger issue for me wanting these kids to stay in school and graduate, but just bouncing out and going and fucking helping the NBA team. That's all dope and great. But there's a bigger issue for African American athletes than just playing ball.
There is, but there's more to that. There's more to that.
That's exactly why they jumped ship early.
I mean, I'm about to talk about this shit. I said I didn't want to talk about it, remember? I told you this shit got layers to it, and you look, we're going to be on this shit all night.
But like, man is probably going to jump into
like coming in.
Oh, please.
What kind of people do you got around you? I'm just saying, LeBron, again, coming out of high school, he had the right people around him. He put his people in position of power.
Yeah. But also, what are your needs? Some of these kids go just because they don't have the funds at home, and they just want to, do well that first year in college and get out. Because some of them also don't have the grades. They just want that money. They want that bag.
Yeah,
that way they can secure for their family. Imagine how dumb that
fucking sounds. Imagine how dumb it is. Where's the fucking parents who, when this kid was in 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th grade, and everybody's like, yo, he's going to be a stud. Why didn't the fucking parents step in and say, you know what? Let's make education a priority in this house. Nah, we got black men right now saying, you know what? Don't worry about fucking being able to read. You're going to play ball for the rest of your life. Get the fuck out of here with these parents, man. Yo, this is gonna make me type dead ass. Like, I don't want to get into this shit, dog. We're failing these kids as parents, dog. It's a much larger issue than them going to putting a jersey on a Friday night. It's much larger than that. Okay. We're failing as a society of black parents to tell our children to put education first. There was a time where we couldn't even go to school. Now we're like, oh, fuck school. You don't have to worry about it. Niggas can't fucking add and do math. Ben Simmons is fucking failing out of life at LSU. Barely got the fuck out of here. But y'all niggas are like, oh, it's okay. You can shoot. Fuck out of here. Your parents is trash.
Ben Simmons can't shoot.
He can't shoot.
Whatever.
How do we know none of these kids are going back to school though?
Exactly.
A
lot of players went back to school.
Why?
A lot of players went back to school.
You were there. Build the foundation so that you can build on top of the foundation later. Why? That's what's wrong with a lot of motherfuckers. Y'all chase money too much.
Now get the money, secure it.
Come on, that money ain't going nowhere whether Ben Simmons is 18 or 21. The money ain't going nowhere. Are you kidding me?
Yes, it is.
Yes, it does. You know. Yes, it does. You know better than that.
And then secondly, y'all also know the NBA salaries go up every season. So Ben Simmons would have made more money coming out of school when he came out of LSU.
Nah,
and he would
don't
take
work that
3
way.
years at LSU to actually get a degree and learn about business.
It don't always work that way, Chuck.
It don't work that way,
y'all
man.
niggas that got kids going to school for art and fucking crayon VCR repair. Get the fuck out of here, man. Let's move on.
VCR repair.
Let's go somewhere else, man. Yo, if you're watching this and you're a parent of an athlete, send that kid to school and make education a priority, man. Fuck out.
Hey, man, let's move on.
Yeah,
go get a
That's it. Kid blow his knee, and guess what? He gonna be a fucking high school basketball coach for the rest of his life. But he could have been a lot more to the community.
Black lumberjack. All right. Kill it, dog. Jesus.
He's over there. He's over there. Hot
y'all
boy.
wanted to go into this shit. I told you. I was like, yo, leave it alone. Y'all in Miami.
Yeah.
Fuck out of here.
Moving on from oh shit. Oh man.
That boy hot.
We gotta talk music, man. You know what I'm saying? We got the No Limit finale coming up this week. And then we actually got the start of the Rough Rider docuseries, which is coming on as well. Want to get you guys' thoughts and opinions on the finale of the No Limit. You know what I'm saying? What are you expecting right here? I mean, they couldn't put enough into it. I feel like 5 episodes is like only it's nothing of it. You know what I'm saying? But what are you guys' opinions? How you feeling on it? And what do you think about the Rough Rider series coming up? So
what are they? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'll start with you, Little. Go ahead.
A question. What are they going to be going into? The Rise of True? That last episode, I'm not sure what they were going to jump into.
No, it's the rebranding.
The rebranding.
The rebranding of the tank. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because
there
I
was
know
some business thing with the name No Limit. And they had to change out of that to the new No Limit or something like that. We'll find out more tomorrow night. But there was some kind of financial thing going on behind the scenes. Somebody probably suing them. I don't know what it was, but there was something. There was a reason why they had to go to the name change, and that's what they're gonna talk about on Wednesday.
Yo, but P was getting it. Was it 28 or 31 releases in a year?
Ooh. Yeah.
No, it was 21. 28 or 21, right?
It was like 23. 23.
23?
Yes.
16,
that's crazy.
16 went gold to platinum.
That's insane. That will never happen again in the history of
ever.
That will never happen again, man.
Black man independent.
Not only that.
Crazy.
Not only that. So y'all know what gold and platinum means. That means you're selling 100,000 or a million.
100,000.
No, that's 500. 500 or a mil.
500. Oh, pardon me. My 500 or a million records. And
million was platinum, right?
85% per record.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
So, I mean, just
that's crazy.
From the dollars and cents side of the world, that's incredible. But then again, they came out of nowhere. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then just those couple of years, it's fucking crazy. I was a big fan. I had most of those albums, so it's No Limit.
They said last episode that I think they spent like 200 or 300,000 to make Bout It and made like 20 million off of it. You know what I mean?
Crazy.
Like, those guys were just so far ahead of the game with it. You know, you can't say enough about P, his status in the game just as a businessman and all of the things that he's always tried to push amongst us, amongst Black people. You know what I'm saying? So
one of the things they talked about on that I found interesting was the fact that, well, they painted a picture that P's hand in the merch took away from his ability to manage No Limit Records. That was saying that he was trying to get his hands in too many business ventures and wasn't in the studio enough to churn out those number of records that he was. And then when you combine that with his aspirations to play in the NBA, he just didn't put enough energy behind the tank. And that's sad.
Well, the merch,
well, I feel like
yeah.
I feel like at that point he was able to step away because the tank had already been solidified. He had probably groomed enough of those guys to carry it for a little while, and they just they just couldn't.
Right.
Yeah.
I think
that's what everybody does. That's what everybody does.
That's what it was. I think that's what.
I kind of disagree, and this is only because, like I said, I've had most of those No Limit albums, right? So the beauty of a No Limit album was that everybody on the label was on the record. You know what I mean? And so now, all of a sudden, when you're missing P, it's like, this sounds strange. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was more than P. They lost Hits by the Pound. I mean, it was. I believe it was more of a money thing. Guys felt like they weren't being compensated enough, and whatnot. I don't think it was just P being away, because they should have still been able to do their own thing while he pursued basketball and stuff. I mean, P didn't have to be there, for them to sit there and write whatever they had to write. But
remember what year this is, bro. Remember what year this is. If you had to lay a verse, you had to fly out. It wasn't, you couldn't send no verse by email, like you do today. You know what I mean? You had to be in the studio. And like I said, the beauty of No Limit is collaborative effort.
Yeah. I mean, and Beats by the Pound didn't do too well for themselves after they left No Limit.
That's too bad, because I like Beats by the Pound.
Yeah, that.
Too bad. And then Mama Mia had some things going on in her personal life.
Right.
Yeah.
Listen, man, the label had a tremendous run. You can't do nothing but salute them.
Right.
Yeah.
So going from one label to the next, are you guys excited about the Rough Rider docuseries that's coming up this week as well? What do you guys' thoughts, opinions, X, the Locks, Eve, Drag On? You know what I mean?
I'm gonna be honest, I haven't seen even any of the No Limit joints, so I'm behind the 8 ball here. So I gotta catch up to y'all. But I'm looking forward to the Locks Rough Rider joint. I think I was a bigger fan of that than I was No Limit. But I think in terms of being just a student of the game and having a love for music, I still want to go back and look at the No Limit joint.
Yeah,
Chuck?
Yeah, me too.
Listen, I told y'all that I was a gigantic No Limit guy in college when it first was, bubbling 97, 98. That wasn't the case with the Rough Riders. You know what I mean? Like, I grew to like them later in life. So I'll listen. I'm always up for a story. I'm always up for a buy-up. I'm always up for a foundation, and I want to learn about that from the Rough Riders. But Eve wasn't nothing for me to write home about. Drag On sounded like DMX to me. He had a great verse on I can't think of what it was, but he's had like 2 or 3 great verses. I was like, oh, this kid's pretty nice. So if I'm watching that, I'm watching it for DMX and I'm watching it for the Locks.
Okay. Little.
Nah, same. I was a bigger fan of the Rough Riders than No Limit. So I'm just amped to see it, because I know there's a lot of crazy shit that went down behind the scenes. I mean, you got DMX, DMX, man. Nah, X is just that dude. X was that dude at that time. Like, and Chuck, no, Drag On does not sound like DMX. Stop it.
Not even close.
Nowhere near.
I think one of the sad things about how we're transitioning from the No Limit to the Rough Riders is that we're going from telling a story about a business mogul, right, to now telling a story of a man who has had problems with drugs, trying to fight his way out of that. I just think it's a different kind of story being told here, and I really appreciate it.
DNY and them were big moguls too. The Rough Rider people, they were big moguls in the game.
And again, I'm ignorant to the story, so I'd like them to
be
big.
This game, definitely. They were definitely big moguls in this game.
Who was that again, man?
DY and it was a sister they had. Because Swiss is their nephew. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I remember. Now I can remember. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So no, that story is going to be interesting, and I'm sure I'm almost positive. Real quick, let me get this in with the Rough Riders docuseries. Is that that infamous night from Boston at the Cash Money Rough Riders? I'm sure that there's going to be some footage of that. In there.
What happened?
I mean, which would be interesting. So the Locks and Made Men.
Morning Street, right? Made Men, yeah.
Made Men got into a little altercation in the back behind stage, to the point where the concert had to be canceled. You know what I mean? Like, it was crazy. So, sorry for those people, and glad to the fact that I went the first night and not the second night, so I didn't.
Do we know what the confrontation was about? I mean, it's been 20 years later.
Yeah, I don't know exactly in detail, and I would want to speak on something I'm not 100% in tune with, but yeah, or something to that effect. So I'm sure that will be in the docuseries, and it'll be interesting to see how they play that part out.
Yeah, but I do know there was a beef, and I'll just leave that there. There was a beef there, so.
Okay. All right.
We'll tune in, I guess. Niggas got the information, but we'll just have to watch it on TV.
Hey, listen.
Yeah. We'll just check
No names.
So since we laughing and giggling and all that stuff, I mean, let's get into something that's been going on. You know what I mean? So the comedy tournament.
I don't want to fucking talk about this comedy tournament.
Has started this week, and of course,
take the room.
Of course, like the past tournaments that have happened, there is controversy once again in the matchup of Bridesmaids versus The Wood. So
I told you dudes before this tournament, I told y'all, I said, yo, there's obviously a bias versus me because they don't like what I'm saying on the show, right? And y'all said, nah, Chuck, can't be.
Yeah, nothing to do
we
with
come
you.
on here, I picked Bridesmaid, and niggas picking the fucking Wood, which is not even a comedy. That's what we doing today. Like, that's what's really out here. So I singled out homie that I knew since I was like 9 years old. I said, yo, Mitch, what's really good? Speak for the people. Tell me why in the world you would pick The Wood, a drama, over Bridesmaid and a comedy.
He said he thought it was funny.
My nigga said, I like the movie. What the fuck are we talking about, dog? Are you kidding me? You gotta be kidding me, dog.
Look. See, this is what happens when you people leave out specific things in the conversation. I could have sworn Mitch said he thought it was funny. I could have sworn he said he thought it was funny. And he would watch it over and over again. Anytime it come on, he'll watch it over and over again.
This is a classic case of folks just not seeing the movie. I'm convinced. There's no other way around it. There's no other way around it.
It's fucking ridiculous. Are you kidding me?
There's no way around it.
It's nice. It's a nice comedy drama where there's some suspense. There's a storyline and everything. I mean, it's not a stand-up comedy show. I mean, wasn't House Party a nice, had a storyline to it? Same thing with Life. It had a storyline to it. There was some funny parts in it.
I can't believe we're really doing this.
let me tell y'all something really quick. Just between me and the people listening.
This is how you shake up the room.
So between me and the people listening, right? Just don't worry about these three dudes right now. But between us three, right? Between us listeners. So The Wood was a fucking throwaway option behind the scenes. Like, y'all didn't even see what was happening behind the scenes. Behind the scenes, we was like, yo, Sammy, hurry up and pick your last movie so we can start the bracket. He was like, oh, I don't know what I want to pick. Just give me The Wood. And we was like, nigga, that's not even a comedy. It's okay. It'll get bounced in the first round. It won't matter. And now we get here and we look at the votes and these bum-ass votes.
Stop here. Hightower said it'll get bounced in the first round. Let it
go.
But
I knew it wasn't.
I also commented that The Wood is not a comedy. It shouldn't have flown. Hightower, Mr. PC, Mr. Politically Correct, Hightower, a.k.a. Hightower, says no, it'll get bounced in the first round, and now look what happened. It's taking out a real comedy.
I came with receipts. When it goes into the movies and it gets nominated, it's going to be nominated either in the drama category or it's going to be nominated in the comedy category. And the movie people know better than we do, right? They're the ones that made it. That's the category they put it in.
Yeah, that's why it says drama, not comedy.
This ain't the first time the voters let me down. This ain't the first time they let me down on the voting. It won't be the last time, bro. Yeah. So now I got another pick bounce out of the first round, which is undeserving, which is fucking ridiculous.
Nah, see, this is what you get. This is karma.
I know
exactly what look,
bro. You weren't supposed to be PC this time.
But check it. I could have went with Tag. I mean, I don't know if you guys seen the movie Tag. Have any of you guys heard of the movie Tag?
Nigga, Tag is not in the same bracket as Bridesmaid, and neither is fucking The Wood.
But it's a comedy, right? I could have went with Tag. I decided to be smart about this. I knew what I was doing. It was all calculated, fam. I got this.
That's smart. How far do you think this movie's going?
It better not go past the second round. If it goes past the second round, then I really fucking made my mark here. I really set out and did what I wanted to do.
That's bullshit. Because I lost the fucking movie for no reason. Because niggas
got 0 votes.
Niggas this is what happens. Fucking, we put up a comedy bracket and they said, "Oh, I like the drama." What are you talking about, B? And then they're voting the fourth.
Oh, you didn't like the part when Mike was dancing with Chick and he was like, "Yo, this is how we dance in the South."
Yo, man, let's move on.
Yo,
fuck out of here with this bullshit. Man.
In the other comedy bracket,
go watch Bridesmaids, bitch. Yo, pause the episode. Go to your fucking Cody link. Go to Netflix. Go to Hulu. Go to fucking movies.com. And fucking watch Bridesmaids, B. And then come back and apologize to me, man.
I might watch The Wood again tonight.
Oh, shit. Oh shit. Okay. In the other comedy bracket matchup, I'm sorry. We have Don't Be a Menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood versus Borat. And it looks like it's a boozy, badass wipe down going on right now.
That's too bad.
With Borat. Because Borat actually, like, low-key borderline sucks, dog. So
what?
Nah, Borat's funny as shit.
You know, low-key Borat sucks in my Marlon Benjamin voice. So yeah. No, Borat's going right where it deserves. No controversy.
No, there's controversy there.
I don't mind Borat losing. I don't like the fact that Borat's losing to this matchup.
I agree.
Yeah.
Hey, listen. At least it's losing to a real comedy, not a drama, though. So
these dudes are just hating.
Let's just keep
viewers.
Perspective.
Viewers, these guys are just hating. If you look it up, it clearly says it's a comedy.
That Borat one, it's not even close.
Dudes just wanted you to hurry up and get your last vote in, bro. That's all that was, dog. And Hightower picked the time to not be, you know, he was too PC on that one. But anyways, you know what I mean? The next round.
What's the next matchup?
I haven't put it up yet. I got to go get the bracket.
Chuck handles the comedy bracket, so yeah. Chuck is going to.
I'll get that. By the time we air this episode, it'll already be up. So we'll see what that looks like.
So we're looking. Are we still in the first round? First 2 rounds?
Yeah, we're still in the first round.
Yeah. Okay.
This is the first bracket, right?
Yeah.
No, second one, right?
Second bracket because we have Friday going in the first submission. As the number 1 overall seed. So yeah, we got a bunch more matchups ready for this one.
Okay.
All right. And just so the people are clear, we're asking you to select the funniest movie. Just moving forward. Okay, just pick the funniest movie. That's all.
So yeah, the rest of the brackets will be coming up soon.
Coming to shake the room.
In music news, though, not really too much of it, but a little something with the music. Rick Ross and 50 Cent had a conversation apparently regarding the song BMF and which is Rick Ross' song, and 50 Cent, which has a show coming up on Stars that's going to be tailored after the BMF crew. So, in you guys' opinion, should Rick Ross give 50 Cent's clearance to use a song on the show? Would you, considering everything that gone on between those two in the past? What would you do? So I'm going to start with Capo.
Of course. This is business, man. Those dudes didn't have on-site beef. It wasn't that. That's industry beef. That's industry concerns. We talked about it earlier where that generated from somebody else's situation. You know what I mean? That generated from, listen, man, this is business. You write the check, take the record. This is music industry 101. No problems here at all.
Right. Hi.
Yeah, I mean, this is a big play for both of them. I mean, it opens the door for maybe, a collab or something because, historically they both made great music. Maybe 50 not so much, but if the 50 decides he wants to get back in the game, this is a nice little cosign. This is a nice little cosign to have on that album, man. Or a nice
What
little
the
buzz.
fuck?
50 Cent's definitely made great music, but whatever the case.
How you threw that in there real subtle,
Don't
too.
do that. Don't do that.
You're gonna disregard that real quick.
Yeah, that was real disrespectful.
That's
Nah.
fact. What are you talking about?
I think this is real big. I think it's real big actually for Ross. 50's in movies. And it's business. Shit. Ross can at least say, hey, I got one up on 50. Shit, he had to call me and get my song. I mean, fuck it.
Exactly.
It is what it is.
Right. I mean, at the end of the day, again, their beef is nothing crazy, like Jones said, that was, they weren't running up on each other, that kind of stuff. It wasn't like, with 50 Cent and Fat Joe, and they've squashed their beef. So I feel like if that something like that, especially in a business manner, it just makes sense for both sides. You know what I'm saying? Looking forward to the BMF show, which is going to be coming on Stars. That should really, really be good, based on what 50 did with Power. You know what I mean? So that should really be a good look on that.
Well, salute.
Real quick before you jump off of this, contrary to what Ant believes, I don't see any way 50 now wants to do a record with Rick Ross. I think this is business. Right?
Yeah,
50's too petty to be like, okay, let's do a record together. Like, 50 ain't that nigga. 50 knows that he needs this BMF record to get his movie done. That's the only reason this is business. Otherwise,
he doesn't need.
It's not a movie.
No.
It's a TV series.
But he's using this audio in his TV show. And his point of view,
definitely.
he needs this audio.
Right.
This is business.
He wants it. He wants it. I don't know if he needs it.
I think if you're doing a BMF show, you need this record.
You need this record.
It's a smart move for sure.
Yeah.
But this won't lead to Rick Ross featuring 50 Cent down the line. This won't lead to that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because 50 don't need that. He needs this to work for the show, for BMF. So,
yeah,
I don't see that.
So, real quick, though, before we jump off that, musically, right? I'm just going to put this out there. Who would you see or would you like to see in a matchup versus 50 Cent in a versus? Or what would be a good matchup for him?
Game.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
Sorry.
That's what I was thinking.
That's the only
Game?
Yep.
Yeah.
So the controversy with your boy Hightower calling out 50 in a versus, you think T.I. will wipe 50 in a versus?
Hell yeah.
You're out your mind.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
You are outside
Seriously out your mind.
I'm not sure what kind of pedestal y'all got 50 Cent on, man, but
outside your mind, man.
We had this conversation before. He's not gonna candy shot me and all that to death during this versus. Like, I don't want to hear.
And T.I.'s not gonna whatever you like and all that.
He got way more than that, brother. He got way more than that.
So does 50. You might want to dig into that catalog.
I wouldn't mind seeing
50
Joey
gets
Crack.
spin around 17.
Okay.
That wouldn't be bad.
Yeah,
that wouldn't be bad.
Crack, I think that'll be the one.
50 and Joe and Fat Joe?
50 and Joe?
50 and Joe.
That wouldn't be bad.
Because they both can hit you with some radio shit, and then they could both bring out some shit out the crates too. So I think that'll be the one I'd probably lean towards. Definitely not no motherfucking T.I.
Little.
Nah, I would say the same thing. I would say
What's
the
that?
same thing. Joe
What?
Crack.
Fat Joe.
Yeah, I would say the same thing.
What about you, man?
I don't want to see a T.I.
Hype. You already said yours,
No,
right?
I said Game. Yeah.
Okay, you said Game. Okay. I mean, yeah. All
You think
good
Game?
matchup.
You think that'd be a good matchup, 50 in Game though?
Yeah.
Of course.
I don't. Yeah, I don't. But
I think Game will run out.
Really?
Yeah, and then you got to remember they collabed on some shit.
50
So,
wrote a lot of
like,
his stuff. Like I can't. Like I
yeah,
don't know.
And knowing petty ass 50, he'll play the shit that he
Like
wrote.
he right.
yeah,
Like are you
yeah,
kidding me? There's no way that's a good. There's no way.
yeah.
You're
That's a tough
not
one.
gonna play this shit I wrote for you against me.
Yeah, he'll do that. That's petty. That's
Fuck
50.
out.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
But Game got some
Yeah.
nice features though. I mean,
Game
Nah, he
absolutely.
do.
Game definitely does.
Listen, he has a slept-on catalog.
yeah, I agree with that actually.
Even
Yeah.
outside of the debut album, he got some bangers.
He does.
And
He does.
whole albums though, not just like singles and songs here and there, like
He made good albums though. I like the
complete
Game.
bodies of work.
So-
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm a freestyler real quick then, Sparring Minds. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes we do this sometimes. You know what I mean? So let me get 2 or 3, right? We'll just keep it to that number. Since we talking about like slept on artists or slept on albums, right? Give me 3 albums that you feel are just like totally like slept on.
Slept on.
AZ's
I mean-
first album.
That
Throw
wasn't
it
slept on.
die. Throw
I
it
mean,
die.
you got
Throw it down.
Jay-Z's first album.
No, that was Reasonable Doubt.
Nah, not slept
Yeah.
on.
No, everybody
Wow.
everybody acclaims Reasonable Doubt.
Not when it
Yeah, but
first came out though.
Not when it first came out. AZ got
Not when
more
it first
shine when
came
his came out than Jay-Z.
Yeah.
I would.
But I mean,
disagree.
if we're talking mainstream, then I mean, you can say Reasonable Doubt kind of qualifies.
I'm trying to think.
Interesting.
That it took a while for that to take off. People had to go back and listen to it. Like, yo, I missed this one.
Right. Okay. Maybe that's something to come back to. I didn't mean to throw y'all on the spot.
No,
like
I like that. I like
No,
that.
I'm ready.
No, that was all right. That was all right.
You know what I mean? Since we talking about so okay, I got one off the top. I'm not sure if this. I'm not sure, but Black Rob's life story.
Yep. Another
I
one.
didn't like that album.
I heard that was all right.
Slept on. G Dep. While we staying in that family, I feel like G Dep's first album, Low Key, slept on.
Yep.
All right, so stay in that same family, and I don't normally do this, but Little Kim got 2 classics. The first one was a hardcore, and the second one was
Notorious K.I.M.
is that the name of the album? Both
So.
classics. She got 2 classics, and that the second one was
But
obviously.
you thought they were slept on?
The second one was yes, because it was after Big. Everybody was like Big's writing for her, and that album's cooks.
Well,
I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember the album
Big
cover.
right now, Jones.
Huh?
You're saluting Big right now.
With the red and black lumberjack.
No hat.
Yeah, I think that's the one. Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's the one that had lighters up on it, isn't it?
No, that was towards the end.
What's the name of that album?
That was The Naked Truth. That was the last one before she got locked up.
No, it wasn't Naked Truth then. I can't remember what it was, but she has 2 classics. So, that second one's a banger for Kimmy.
Wow, classics. That's you don't really throw that word around there like that.
Well, we all agree hardcore's a classic, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So yeah, I think that second one slaps just as equally as hardcore.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
In fact, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say she got 2 of the only 3 female classic albums. Kimmy got 2 of them.
Only 3 female classics?
Oh, there's only 3, brother. Don't reach too far. There's only 3, with the Miseducation being the 3rd.
Who was the first?
I don't know.
Kimmy's
No, he said Lil'
hardcore.
Kim. He said
And
Lil' Kim
that
got
second
Kim.
album Kim got. I can't think of the name off the top of my head because man
Just those 3?
Yeah, that's female albums. That's it.
Yeah, we're not gonna we could go somewhere else right now. I'm not even gonna do it.
There's another female album that's a classic outside of those 3. You the one wanted to freestyle this, brother. Now we doing this.
Well, we were talking about slept on albums. You know went somewhere else now.
Yeah.
All right. Well, pardon me. Yeah. Okay. Well, I think that second Kim album is slept on. Pardon me.
Let's see. Okay. Slept on album.
And obviously the Ghetto Report Card. Go pick that up. Ghetto Report Card, E40.
Man.
Yeah.
Stop
Here
it.
Here we go.
Go pick it up. Give it one spin.
A slept on album. Probably Little C's debut joint.
Ooh, good one.
With Play Around.
Good one. That has some bangers.
Yeah. My favorite joint on that is the one with Kelly Price. I love that cut.
Dude, he had a joint.
Yeah, that's a good album. That's a good call, man.
He had a joint on there with Hove, man. And Hove just slapped everybody around that joint.
Yeah, he sure did. Definitely.
That was a good ass album.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Extremely slept on.
Yeah.
Extremely slept on. Little.
I'm past.
Huh?
I passed quick.
What's that?
Slept on. Rap is just rap.
Come
some.
Okay, all right. So you don't know. All right, okay, cool.
Nah, I don't have one.
Yeah, there's quite a few.
Okay. Yeah,
that was interesting. I like that, little man. We gotta dig deeper into that.
Yeah, definitely. Play on the slept on albums, and then we can have a conversation about classics, right? And then we can get into the definition of what makes a classic album.
Yeah,
I think that's something we could spend some time on, seeing that, we've done some music tournaments, like I said, and we're gonna have the viewers pick the next tournament that we're gonna do. So
would y'all take Jealous One's Envy as an underrated album?
Yeah.
It's on my list.
That's the album with John Blaze, right? Is John Blaze on that?
Yes.
Nah.
Yes, it is.
John Blaze.
Really?
You said
Jealous One's Envy.
No, that was Jealous One's Still Envy. That was the Don Carnegie album, actually. John Blaze.
No, I think you're mixing it up.
Yeah. No, Don Carnegie had Johnny Blaze on that one. That's when he was doing his mafioso with the hat and suit and all that shit. Yeah.
You might be right. I remember that cover. Okay. All right. Music, we good there. Capo, what's going on, man? You gotta ask Chuck for us today.
I do. But before we jump off it real quick, if y'all have some slept on albums, drop them in the comments so we can add that to our repertoire of things we're gonna talk about down the line.
Or classics.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Kamani has a whole list of them.
Yeah, I'm sure he does. Shout to the resident DJ of Sparring Minds.
No.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, we gotta ask Chuck, and let's see where we are with it. So, a guy wiped a girl when she was homeless, right? Helped pull her through school. She became a lawyer. After 10 years, she no longer wants to be with him because she feels he is not on her level. The question here is, does she stay out of respect and loyalty for what's happened, or does she leave the situation? So I'll start with you.
Wow.
you got to get out of there. Well, I mean, why stay somewhere where you're not happy, man? I mean,
he built this
the situation. Bitch. So what?
Yeah, got to be out of there.
They're not married, right?
Are they married?
It doesn't mention the word married.
So then she can go.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, you niggas is fucking slime.
Fam. So you feel that she should stay? First of all, she already has the attitude that he's not on my level. So she stays, they're both going to be miserable.
Listen,
yeah.
I mean, what the fuck do you expect her to do?
So she was homeless. Let's start the conversation out right. She was homeless.
Understood.
So
understood.
If you are homeless, you can't define levels to me. You dig what I'm saying? At that level now, I've pulled you up. I said, nah, I got you. You ain't never gonna be homeless again. You know what? So I'm gonna work the 80 hours a week. I'm gonna double up at the office to put you through law school, to get you right, because I believe that's going to strengthen our foundation. You dig? So the minute I put you through that, I spend these 6, 7, 8 years trying to get you right. Now all of a sudden I'm not good enough because you've been hanging around these law school niggas, and now all of a sudden you top shelf. Now all of a sudden you fucking do say, nigga, bitch, you was a clearance ass bitch. You was a 99-cent bottom shelf ass bitch before I got here. Now all of a sudden is, oh, I'm too good for this. I don't eat anywhere unless it's Ruth Chris. What? Bitch, I met you. I gave you my number in a 99-cent cheeseburger. And that's how I got your number in the first place. Now I with you, and now all of a sudden you doing some other shit.
But fam, it didn't say, you know, and like maybe he didn't elevate himself while they grew.
Because maybe he put all his effort into her.
You can't do that. Y'all got to grow together.
And now she just walk away. Y'all don't require loyalty from y'all chicks, man.
Listen, but you never explained how dude was. Was dude like this?
I don't have
money
to
maker.
How dude? Are you kidding me? This thing says
he might have been on the, listen. Listen, fam. He might have been on the verge of homeless himself.
Right. I mean,
and guess what he did? From the depths, from the sewage, nigga, from the slums, he pushed her out. If he's on the depths of homeless himself, he pushed her out of it. How did she look down and be like, all right, bye, nigga?
He brought her in. Now they're supposed to raise each other up. Now, if he decided he wanted to stay at the same level that he was when he found her, that's not her fault. Now, she's probably looking at him like, damn, like, you know, I put myself through law school because she had to do the work. How come he didn't put himself through law school?
I get it.
He had the same opportunity.
So, Sparring Minds listeners, what we have here, this is what we call opposite day. This is when dudes come on the show and they say the exact opposite of what they really feel. Now, that's what's happening right now. But nobody told me about it. So we're going to start again. We're going to start over. I'm going to go back around the room to see if we can really get right. So,
and please talk some sense to him, please.
Talk to me, Ian. So how much of a scallywag is this bitch? Go ahead and speak for me.
Yo, listen. We're not questioning whether she's a scallywag or not, because she can be whatever she wants. The question is, should she leave? So yeah, she should get out of there. She could be a scallywag and walk out the door. She could be whatever you want her to be. But she can go too.
He's been frustrated all episode.
This whole episode. Literally the whole show.
Yeah.
I can't believe you do the co-sign of this shit, though.
Yo, man, how do you feel, man? How you feel, man?
I'm saying, like, at what point, though, what's the price tag on your happiness?
Word.
That's all I'm saying, yo. What price tag do you have on your happiness? Whether you built someone, created a player, whatever the case may be you want to call it, it's still, again, how much money do you put on your happiness, man? And no matter how much money if you're not happy, Chuck, Mr. Happy himself, for real, are you kidding me? You preach fucking happiness all the time. And all of a sudden, in this case, you're saying don't choose happiness because of how you were built up, whatever the case may be.
I guess what I'm saying here is that her happiness level should be maxed out by dealing with the type of nigga that she has. Because this nigga sacrificed, put her on, got her right, got her into the Balenciaga. Like, he put her in a different weight class. You dig what I'm saying? Her happiness level should be maxed out. Because there's nobody who has done more for her in that spot. Every nigga she met before him failed her. This nigga said, nah, ma, I got you. And what's his fucking things? She bounced the minute she get a law degree.
Nah. This is the old adage. What did it say? You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
He led her to greener pastures, and she took advantage of it and got herself together.
But she did. Yeah. Don't skip over the most important thing you just said. She took advantage of it. Meaning him.
You're supposed to take advantage.
Meaning him. She took advantage of him because she could. No. If that's the case, she should have led this as a friendship. She disguised it as a relationship. That's
question. So question.
I invested in a relationship.
So question.
This was supposed to come back to me. My wife was supposed to be a lawyer. That's how this was supposed to work. You know what I mean? She got the law degree. Now our foundation is dope. My wife, she said, now guess what? I can elevate myself. You dig what I'm saying? Maybe I was a cab driver working 100 hours. But now my wife can help us out financially. Let me go get my own degree now.
But see that had to been a conversation, a talk where she knew this from jump. Okay, this is what we were gonna do. We're gonna, get you through college and all this other stuff, and then after that, we'll, my turn. Like, unless she broke those terms, I don't.
Yo, I don't think you niggas though. I'm totally in shock at this though. Like that y'all just gonna let her walk away scot-free. This is ridiculous, dog.
If she's not happy, man, if she's not happy in the situation, regardless of what she went through to get to that point, if she's not happy currently, then it's no reason she should stay. If they're not married, especially, you know what I mean? There's no reason. There's no kids. There's nothing to tie them there. Like, why should she stay if she's not happy? I'm just lost. I'm lost on that part of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're saying what happened and all that over happiness. And Mr. Happy, Mr. Pharrell himself saying this is crazy, dog, to me.
What I'm saying is,
why is she not?
Okay.
He already invested in her happiness. He did that 100-fold more than anybody in her fucking life. He invested in her happiness. He is the direct cause of her future happiness. You know what I'm saying? She'll never be homeless again because of him. She is now a top level bitch because of him. And now all of a sudden, sorry.
Is it all because of him?
Man, that's out. I can't. Whew.
She still had to do the work. She still had to put the work in.
Right.
She still had to put the work in. It's not all because of him. He took her in, yes. I wonder why the fuck he took a homeless bitch in, but he took her in.
Pretty woman. What do you mean, baby?
So we appreciate y'all tuning in. And we're gonna
listen. We seen what happened on the Shy when, nah.
We gotta end this episode, man.
What?
Because y'all ain't gonna keep fucking with me like this.
What's happening here? What is
nah, we can't keep doing this shit.
What?
This almost sounds like that shit on the Shy where the nigga just kidnap a chick off the street. Nah.
No,
what?
Just like y'all real serious. Like,
this chick
has enough. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that right there.
No, I know.
That's something totally.
Nah, the Shy was a little bit more, but
totally different. But
I'm totally disappointed in these responses.
I don't know what you're disappointed in. She ain't got to stay, man.
Yo, man.
Bam said he raised her from the depths.
Absolutely did. He absolutely did. And this is his thanks. This is his thanks. Like,
he was supposed to raise himself at the same time, man.
Oh, shit.
Also, but that's also a thing that I hate too, when women be like, oh, you're supposed to, as a man, you're supposed to evolve. You're supposed to, I just think that's a really stupid statement. Like, so men, most of us are real simple, right? Like, we get what we like, we get in the groove, cool. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm super happy. This is what I'm gonna do. Like, women want you to like fucking change and overnight just be. Why? I'm happy. I'm happy. Man, we've been talking about this for the last 10 minutes. I'm happy, right? Yeah. If this is my happiness, talking to my homies, drinking a fucking not this bum ass Corona seltzer, but just drinking a beer, happy. You know what I mean? Like, this is my happiness zone. Why should I then be like, oh well, I'm not progressing enough. I'm not evolving. I'm happy right where I am. But women want to continue to evolve. Why?
What are we talking about here now? Are we talking about happy in your career? Are we talking about career happiness? Whereas if a woman wants you to evolve and be more and sees more in you, there's nothing wrong with that. So I want to be clear on what you're saying.
Sammy made the point that while this young lady was building her name, building her brand, building herself, that the dude should have been doing the same thing. And my point is that what if he had already finished building himself? What if that was the case here? What if he had said, you know what? I like being a cab driver. This is what I like. I'm happy in this moment. And she's looking at him like, no, you need to evolve. You need to want to own your own car. You need to want to, like, why?
What is wrong? What was wrong with that? What is wrong
because
with that?
I know many men, and myself included. I'm
Yeah.
okay being the employee. I don't gotta be the CEO. A lot of you niggas chase the CEO. I don't need the corner office. I like being able to know what my life is like, and I'm happy, very happy in that. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't need to keep changing every day to reach some goals that I don't necessarily want to be at.
But see, you're successful at your goals.
All individual.
You're successful at what you're doing.
What happened? This guy in this story has lost because he was happy where he was. That's what's happened here. Based on what y'all telling me.
It doesn't say he was a cab driver. It doesn't say any of that. It just says what he did. You know what I mean? To get her to that level. And she didn't feel like during that time in which she was in law school and then putting her work, he wasn't doing the same. He wasn't making himself a better person.
What are you talking about? Making himself a better person? How great of a person do you have to be to take somebody who's homeless and put them through law school? You're pretty damn good.
Okay,
no,
but
you're building somebody else.
You're stuck on that. You're just stuck on that. Go ahead, Little. I'm sorry.
No, I'm good. I was just saying that he's building her. What are you doing in return for yourself?
Because they're in a relationship. That's what he's supposed to do.
What, not build himself?
I build himself?
Stop?
I think that he put so much effort into building her, and then
he forgot about himself.
One of I've always told y'all, one of my core Charlie Hustle logics in relationships is, you do for me, I do for you, we're both done for. You see what I'm saying? In this case, he put so much energy into her, expecting that she was going to put that same energy back into him, and the minute she had the opportunity to do so, she said, nah, I'm out. And y'all niggas are like, yeah, that's okay.
What energy did he put into her other than sending her to school?
Oh, because that ain't shit, right? That ain't shit. Just supporting her and developing the relationship. They've been together for 10 years, so clearly he was doing something. He wasn't doing
it never said. But it never said that she never had a job in those 10 years. All it said was he took her in.
Hold up, Chuck.
Yeah.
You say, as a man, that we got to pay the bills, right?
Well, we'll talk about that on a future show. I didn't say that, but we'll talk about that.
In this situation,
in this case, yes.
He did just that.
Correct.
He managed the household.
Uh-huh.
So
and what's his thanks? What's his thanks, man?
The thanks is that he accomplished something that he tried to accomplish. He sent her to school.
That he sent him. Ed, you're trying to piss me off, dog.
Listen.
Yo,
listen.
He sent her to school to develop his family's foundation. That's why he sent her to school.
He sent her to school to develop her.
Yes.
No.
Doesn't say nothing about.
Are they married?
You can't be doing things. Listen, you can't do things looking for an ulterior motive. How are you gonna send someone to school expecting all of this to come in return because that's what you did? No, that's not how it works.
That's bullshit, Ant. So let me ask you this: you send your lady through medical school, right?
Okay.
Your wife is now a fucking PhD, right, in life, right? So she went. So during those additional 12 years or whatever she went to school, you said, "Oh shit, I gotta pull more hours at the office." You know what I mean? You missed football games, you missed time with your daughter, you missed all these kind of things you would have normally done. Saying, you know what? Now let me put her through, because once she goes through and once she gets that PhD, it's gonna make our household stronger. That's why you did that, right? And so now she got the PhD. You've missed all these key life moments trying to get her there, making y'all stronger. She said, nah, you know what? I got the PhD, I'm out. What the fuck just happened? You missed the last 10 years of your life putting her through that just for her to leave? You can't tell me that's okay. You'll never have me believe that. Not never. That's ridiculous.
Yo.
And that's what happened in that story.
What I don't want you to get confused is, I'm not saying it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, it's wrong, but she shouldn't have to stay as a reward for, you sending me to school. Okay, I get to stay with you for the rest of my life. That's not realistic.
Yeah.
You had me for 10 years. You had me for 12 years. All right, it didn't work out. Time to move on. It just so happened I'm in a better situation now. That's it.
Speaking of time to move on, because
I mean, fam just build yourself up.
Yeah, I'm sad. I'm sad by this, honestly, dog.
They always tell you before you sit there and try to help somebody else out, make sure that you help yourself out first. I mean, how could you help somebody else out?
He was
before you help
happy,
yourself?
Sammy. That's what I'm saying. Like he
Is
was.
that a
Nah, you
maritime little? Is that a
Nah,
maritime
that's
little?
I know, right?
Ooh,
Real quick.
early without a
Jeez.
call, right? Early. I love it, man.
But damn, that hurts, Chuck. That hurts. That sucks, though. That sucks for him.
You niggas is something else, B.
Yeah.
That really
I'm
sucks
really.
for him.
Oh
That's messed up,
man,
though.
yo, this has been an extremely interesting spar of minds here this week. We got Capo, man. You know what I mean? Over there, ready to take us all on, man. Damn, man.
Yeah.
Come on, that's messed up, man.
How
There's a time when we expected, requested integrity, right? This is about integrity to me, man. This is about. Come on, man. I'm totally like. I thought this was gonna be quick. Like, yeah, Chuck, we agree with you, and then we was gonna wrap the show in like 2 minutes. Like, I thought this was gonna be real quick, and it went somewhere totally different.
Women are different, man. Women are different.
Sammy, since you gave us a unofficial mirror time, would you like to kick off the mirror time that you have planned out anyway for us? Give us a double dose.
Yeah, why not? Why not? Let Chuck get out of here and jump in an ice bath or something, cool down a little bit. All right. So speak when you are angry, and you will make the best speech you will ever regret.
All right.
Words by Ambrose Bierce.
I like that. I like that one right there, man. You had two good ones. So shout out to Little on the double dose of the mirror time. You know what I mean? So this has been a very good episode with my brothers in the Sparring Minds. You know what I mean? I'm glad I got a chance to be the moderator, the speak of this. You know what I mean? So been another good episode. And since they put me in first again, we're getting up out of here. Chef main topic.
High Tower, you know who it is.
Sam Little, Mr. Maritime.
Come on, man. Mr.
That's
Monday
Charlie
night.
Hustle.
Hot Tub Tony.
Lips.
Yeah, no, he's over here greasing up his lips.
Man. You know what your lady? All right, fuck around. The reason I left him because his lips was off. Come on, man. It's Charlie Hustle, man. Okay, Charles Jones. Sparring Minds, man. We out of here, man. It's to y'all soon, brother.
Peace out, y'all.